The number of Kanban cards that should be used in a Kanban loop can be determined by the Kanban card formula. The Kanban card formula requires you to find 4 different inputs, numbers that you need for the formula. But the one thing about that formula is you have to make sure those numbers are ready to use. This particular problem is testing if you are alert for that fact. Let's take a look at it. The usage rate of a component is 600 an hour. Okay, this is sounding like it's going to be some kind of input. The lead time on a container of that component is 30 minutes, and each container holds 110 components. There's this policy variable of 10%. How many Kanban cards should be used to control production? So it's asking for that formula. Okay, that formula. The number of cards we should use in the loop. D times L times 1 plus X divided by C. All right, now D is the demand rate of the component that we're planning for, and we saw that right there. Demand or usage, 600 an hour. So we found our first number for the formula. L is lead time on the container. And that was reported right here. The lead time on a container is, okay, we found the next one, 30 minutes. So I'm just taking notes here, haven't determined a thing. C is the size of the container. And that was, it just caught my eye, reported right there. Each container holds, perfect, 110. And X is a policy variable. It's determined by the company that's going to use this Kanban loop, and that was reported here as 10% or 0.1. Very often it's discussed as a percent. You want to use the decimal equivalent to put it in the formula. All right, we have everything that we need for the formula. So we start to fill out the formula. Okay, D is 600. And you say, all right, then times L. L is 30. Don't write 30. Don't write 30. This is what I mean by, is your data ready to use yet? This is actually a fairly simple formula. There is one thing that can go wrong with it, and this problem is engineered to try to cause that to go wrong. The thing that we have to remember about the Kanban card formula is that D and L need to be speaking of the same time unit. D and L need to refer to the same time unit. If they don't, then the answer doesn't come out right. Oh, well, wait a minute. D here is 600 per, and this is what I mean, per hour. That's what we were told. The lead time, it says 30 minutes. Don't put 30 in here because this is not quite ready to go yet. D and L need to match. The easiest way to adjust that here is to just change the lead time into hours. 30 minutes is 1/2 of an hour. Hour. Now they match. That's what belongs up here. Okay, then times the 1 plus 0.1 divided by the 110. There's nothing wrong with any of the rest of that. Usually if anything goes wrong, it goes wrong with D and L. Okay, this I get is, across the numerator, I get 330 divided by 110. Oh, that comes out nice and neat to 3. That is the answer to this question. How many cards should control production? 3. Came out nice and neat here. We remembered that if it comes out with a decimal place, it didn't. But if it had been like 3.2147, you always round up. That was the other thing to remember with this formula, is always round up. In this case, it didn't. We should use 3 cards in the loop.